Good morning. This is my diversity book review activity for our graduate class. And today I've picked 3 books. This is Carlos and Carmen's Sandy Weekend, Ruby Bridges, and Helping Sophia. And I wanted to start with Carlos and Carmen. This is a book series, and this is the cover of the book. And here's the ISBN number. Put it on there so you could see it. I was not familiar with this book series, and I looked it up, and it's really neat. I'm going to start using it in my class. It's got a 0.5 book value, and it's a reading level 2.7, so they could take an AR quiz on it if they wanted to. But the Sandy Weekend just tells the story of Carlos and Carmen, who go with their family on a trip to the beach, a weekend at the beach. And the thing that I liked about this book is, first, it's, like I said, a series, and second, it's got a Spanish to English dictionary in the back. And I thought the activity I would do with the kids is we would make our own Spanish English activity book. I do it with kids, but we're virtual right now, so I have to just tell you about it because we don't have children here. But I would let them cut out pictures of water or draw pictures of water and then do the English word and the Spanish word. And we could start a Spanish-English dictionary. Used to, in our school system, the high schoolers came and taught a Spanish lesson, but now because of COVID, we're not doing that, so I thought this would be a good way to incorporate that. And then the other thing we would do is Epic Books doesn't have the Sandy Weekend, but it has the series of other books, like The Big Splash. And so we could do, their class extension would be after we read the Sandy Weekend, then they would go to Epic and they could pick out their own book, a Carlos and Carmen book. And they even read the books in Spanish if you had a student who was a Spanish-speaking student. But the Sandy Weekend tells the story of the family they go on their beach trip, and they get to the beach and they spend the night and they play in the sand, they go to the sandbar. And the language in the book is so good because it's very, the children speak a mix of English and Spanish. So like Carmen may say, let's go get in the agua. And then the little boy says, yes, the water is cold. So it kind of, stresses that. They go out on the sandbar and they find all these sand dollars. And so they decide they're going to be rich because they're bringing home $1 million sand dollars. And they also decide they want they want a beach at their own house. So they fill their suitcases with sand and bring the sand home. So anyway, it was just a fun book. I think my kids will really like it. The next book I'm going to tell you about is Ruby Bridges. This is actually, it says it's for 3rd grade, but I would just read it to my kids. This is the AR level, so it's 3.7, but it's only a 0.5 book. So, but it's and it too is a part of a series. And there's the ISBN. And the series is Amazing Young People. And I like that this has several women and different cultural backgrounds for the women and men. There's men too. But anyway, it's the story of Ruby Bridges, and it talks about the integration of the classroom and what she did to do that. And it's got real pictures in it. So it's got photographs that I thought was very appealing to children. And it's an easy read. The words are big print, so you could have a good reader work on this at home or on their own. And then they could take an AR test on it, of course. And it's the story of Ruby. It shows her walking into the classroom for the first time. It shows the angry parents. It's just an excellent resource. And then for our activity, we would complete the facts about Ruby page. And probably I would do this with them on the smartboard and let us come up with 2 facts together and maybe do the 3rd and the 4th on their own. So that's facts about Ruby Bridges. And then the last book is called Helping Sophia. And this book, here's the ISBN information on it. And this book was really good. I previewed this before to read with my students, but it tells the story of Sophia, and her helper is out because her helper's daughter has a baby, and so the class steps in and helps Sophia with her activities. And one of the things that we do with this book, when we read, we talk about the wheelchair. You could bring in a wheelchair if you had access to one, if you didn't have a student that had one in your class. But I took my children and we did a whole activity on this one we did do in class. And we did an activity, we sat in chairs and we played wheelchair sports where you were in your chair, and we rolled the ball, and we played a little catch game where they were in their chairs. So that kind of helped them to see that they could still play, they could still interact with a child in a wheelchair or with a disability. It would just be a little bit different. And it too is an epic book. And so they can, after they read the book, they can take the test on it, and it references other books that have a similar theme. So that's my activities. Thank you.